What has made you realize you were getting old? There was a PlayStation 2 on display at the National Museum. How old am I? When people started to address with me sir in the gym. Couple of years ago, I was supervising a Lollapalooza charter on a double-decker bus from Union Station train, think suburb kids, to the music festival. I had Outkast's Hey Ya playing and someone asked if we had to listen to old music. A kid starts asking me 20 questions. I answer him. His older brother grabs and says, "He's a grown-ass man, stop bothering him." I do not accept the responsibility that comes with that title. People my age described as soon to be hopeless cases in sports. There he is, 28, playing out his last string as a professional. It's a miracle. I work as a DJ and play a lot of nightclubs and festivals. I'll never forget the exact moment I knew I was getting old. I was playing a festival, 1 AM, packed tent, I'm psyched. I look out into the crowd and the whole front row looked like children to me. I wanted to give them a hot chocolate and call their parents. Then I realized it was an 18+ event and they were probably all 18, 21y/0. Also, side story for feeling old, sometimes I'll have the crowd in my hands, decide to play what I'd consider a sure shot floor filler, it drops and bang, nobody recognizes it. This happened last weekend with Forgot About Dre. They didn't forget about Dre, they just never knew him. You will really feel old the first time you fall down, and people rush to see if you are okay, instead of just laughing at you and making fun. Realizing kids born in this century are now of drinking age. Not remembering my age without thinking about it for a minute. It started happening in my early 30s, and just the other day someone asked me how old I was, and I had to think for a solid minute whether I was 36 going on 37 or 37 going on 38. To make things sadder, I was a little excited when I remembered I'm turning 37 this year instead of 38. For me, early 30s. Asterisk many of the heroes from the action movies I watched as a kid are now younger than me, and look it. Asterisk news anchors and reporters, especially women, are starting to look young. Asterisk I passed the age my father was when I was born. Asterisk soon I'll be older than Jesus ever was. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off for the first time since I was like 15, and I was rooting for Principal Rooney to catch that little shit. There's been some milestones. Asterisk at 25 I realized I was a quarter century old. That really stuck me. Asterisk at 30 I was no longer a 20 something. Asterisk not recovering from a night out like I used to. Asterisk sometime during my late 30s realizing I no longer had the desire to go out on weekends. Asterisk at 50 realizing I'm a half century old and not caring. Honestly, I liked my 50s. Asterisk at 60 realizing I probably have more years behind me than ahead. I imagine the next one will be when I retire, but that's going to be pretty awesome. 68 is getting closer, only 7 more years. Obviously I look back at my 20s with a lot of fondness. Damn, but I had some fun. But oddly enough, outside of my 20s I think I liked my 50s the most. 30s and 40s are all about busting your ass at work. I had to explain what Friendster and MySpace were like to our social media coordinator whose was like 24 at the time. Was just too young to have ever used them, and didn't know much about their popularity. Felt like an elder passing down oral tradition folktales. And then the townspeople learned HTML and broke our pages. Seeing 20-year-old dudes retire from esports because their gamer reflexes aren't what they used to be. Reminded all the time. Oh, the air conditioner has been there since I was a kid like 10 years ago. Ignore 110, we've had it for almost 25 years. I played D&D with a bunch of early 20 somethings and someone who just turned 19. I'm hit with okay boomer jokes. I make it myself, so I'm okay with it. But Sometimes I just think damn these kids are angsty, but also I come in with the experience of living life I guess. Only one other of them has ever been outside the US. Watching porn and I recognize the age group MILF as people around my age. The day I loved getting socks and underwear for Christmas. Flicking through Netflix and realizing how long ago films were released. How is Inglourious Bastards 12 years old? When I had to explain what a DVD/CD was to my cousin. All the DVDs he had ever seen were trash, so he genuinely thought for years that they were toys until he received a PS2 and didn't see where he could play games. You were getting old? 25 meters. Well, I was going to say first gray hairs in my beard, but damn, son, that's a double punch to the chin right there. 25, and calls himself old. Dude, you basically just stopped growing. When I got some pain in my back and wondered if it was going to last for a day, a week, or the rest of my life. I do believe the people born from 2005-ish onwards are and will be a very different species. 90s kids got a taste of the old days before the internet really took hold. The 2000 born kids these days have been completely connected to the internet for life. When I read a Reddit thread about a 25-year-old feeling old, that's when it really hit me. Going through a divorce in my 40s and wading back into the dating pool after almost a decade made me realize I wasn't young anymore, because at least half the women who are younger than me have grandkids. That was truly a WTF moment for me. However, math fully checks out. My body thinks I'm 47, but my brain thinks I'm 22. I'm assuming they'll eventually sync up. Until then, I'm not old. Lol. It gets worse. Just wait until you're in your 60s. Yeah, I know. Okay boomer. Lol. I have a niece who graduates high school next year. I have one nephew who starts driving this year. And I have a baby cousin who just started high school this year. I was present when all of the above were born. My best man's eldest just got her driver's license and his youngest, and my namesake, just started 3rd grade. The music that was played at my graduation is now on the classic rock station. The car that I drive is now considered a classic due to its age. The millennium babies can now drink. I remember trying to get my GF to come over for the Y2K celebrations. My older cousins, 4-6 years my senior, are now grandparents. But most importantly, people on TikTok and YouTube are calling design and clothing trends of my adolescence retro. Time waits for no one. Holy fuck, you're not old. I'm 30 and young as fuck, and so tired of my friends acting like we are old men and not wanting to do things anymore. It's just a mentality, because popular culture is oriented to teenagers. We are in our prime until we are well into our 40s and can still be ballers after that. My ex used to point out my hairline and I didn't notice, and then started and measured it like a growing kid on a door, and it fucked my head as it started going up on the sides a bit, and that was some god tier manipulative stuff from her. Young people in their 20s talking about feeling old has made me feel like a very old 40 something. Wait till you hit 60. You seriously start questioning your mortality. I started working with adults that were born after 9/11. I just turned 40 today. Does that count? Yen back quote year. This year I became twice the age of another legal adult. FML. Everything anyone under 25 says sounds like a foreign language. I got to Google bussin' and still don't fully understand it. I was watching that Len music video on YouTube for Steal My Sunshine and someone on the comments mentioned that the pregnant lady now has a kid that's in its 20s. Made me feel old. For me it's always physical. Being sore for no reason, or losing muscle after what seems like just a few days without working out. When you're 17 you gain muscle just sleeping. When you're 27 you work to gain muscle easily and mostly keep it a while if you sit around. When you're 37, anything you don't use for like 5 minutes your body goes welp, we'll never need to be able to do that again. The one upside is old man strength. You might lose the muscle, but you don't lose all the strength, and your endurance stays around too. TLDR, having to be healthy on purpose. Once I exited college I had no interest in partying/drinking/hanging out after 11 o'clock. I wanted to get home and go to bed so I wouldn't impact my sleep cycle. If I was at a friend's house watching a movie, I would immediately start to fall asleep once it got past 11 o'clock. It wasn't long after that they all felt the same. We now get together earlier so we can go for just as long, but head home in time for bed. When I was showing my little cousins my Gamma Cube, they said, "Why is the controller charging?" They didn't yet know what wired controllers were. When a 25-year-old says they feel old, haha. I walked into a Abercrombie and realized nothing fit me. My body shape weren't having none of it like it had in the past. I left sad. Getting annoyed by all the new generation's bullshit trends and tacky catchphrases etc.